Big Tigger Morning Show with Jazzy Mcbee on V103, ATL's #1 for hip-hop, R&B, and throwbacks. Jazzy!
Hello, Big Tig.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, promised you it was going to happen, and he is in the building. Ace Metaphor is here. Tonight's conversation is entered into the room.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
Hi, Ace.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good? I'm good.
Yeah. I'm trying to avoid the hookah in Atlanta. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You get dinner and a hookah.
Look, gas station hookah, everything, hookah. Ace, so I first became aware of your show. My lady loves your show.
Appreciate it.
First, she put it out there. She was like, I want to go to the show. And I was like, all right. And then we kind of missed you. We got tied up. And now I've been, since now I'm aware of it, I've been paying attention. I see the viral clips. I've seen the conversations. I love a lot of the content. What the hell is going on?
I wish I knew.
Oh, my gosh.
I wish I knew. I woke up just as surprised as everybody, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I really did. There's no way to not be surprised by how absolutely out of control this thing has gotten. I honestly feel like it's a one-sided fight. That's a lot of low blows being pushed and punched.
Okay, the first thing I saw, and I'm not sure if this is the actual chronological order, is I saw Trip Fontaine very coolly say, I'm out.
Yes, so to explain, we do our contracts tour by tour.
Okay.
So I am the sole owner of tonight's conversation, sole funder, promoter, and I cast for our shoots and our shows.
Oh, okay.
And so every tour, we get into renegotiations, or we bring new people in. We switch out because we want to keep the conversation interesting and dynamic. You want to mix, our seasoned favorites with, new upcomers and starts. And this is how we have introduced Kitty Rose to our audience, Trill AC, Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, Dimitri Wiley. So we do that every single tour. This will be our 5th tour. So we're coming back to cities and we need to come with something new, fresh, exciting, and different. So that has always been in the DNA of tonight's conversation. Trip Fontaine's last show was in Memphis on that particular day, and that's when he chose to make his announcement. But it was after his contract was up. All right?
Okay.
So were you going to, extend his contract, or were you going to filter him out before he left?
I mean, obviously, we're talking about a contract negotiation. I don't want to talk about his in particular. He can talk to it. But it was, I've been working with Trip Fontaine since 2023. Or not 2023, 2013.
Okay.
We was in a group called Metaphorically Speaking. He was on the Future Wife tour. That was my first tour in 2017. We've done stage plays together. He's a poet. I'm a poet. Yeah. He's been working with Tonight's Conversation since 2021. So we have a 10 to 12-year work history. At some point, it's just when you do tour after tour after tour after tour after tour, sometimes you want to say, hey, let me just sit down for a while. Okay. I don't know his particular reasons.
Okay.
But it isn't drama.
There was no conversation centered around it? Or, did you wake up and find that out? Or was there a conversation that ended in, well, you go this way and I go that way?
Whatever conversations me and him had, we had those conversations. And those are the conversations me and him had.
So you did know that you weren't surprised that he was actually going to leave the show?
And actually, I can send you a clip.
Okay.
On stage, we gave him his flowers.
Okay.
Hey, yo, I told him his seat is always open. Whenever he come back, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all love.
Yeah.
Kitty J. Rose.
Yeah.
Just give me the update, because, again, it's what people are saying. There's what others say. What is, from your standpoint and what is the current situation or update surrounding her involvement or lack of involvement?
We rocking. Kitty is rocking with Tonight's Conversation.
Okay.
Tonight's Conversation is rocking with Kitty Rose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Randy
has not been with Tonight's Conversation for the last 7 months.
Why?
She wasn't invited back.
Is there a reason why? Was she one of the favorites? Is it your decision?
It was my decision.
Your decision,
my decision solely to not invite Randy Rosario back on Tonight's Conversation.
Okay.
She wanted to come back. They wanted a contract. They wanted me to help with their tour.
Okay.
We decided not to bring her back. And what I mean by we, the Tonight's Conversation staff, but mostly me. That was a decision I made, and I stand behind that decision.
Was it based on business or personal or?
Everything is based off of business.
Mm-hmm.
Business, culture, camaraderie, stage performance, everything.
So she was still one of the favorites, and you was like, I don't want her back. Did anybody else want her back or not want her back? Was it? I know it was your decision, but like some of the cast members, if they're on stage, like we don't want her back. Was that a conversation?
It's more about our supporters and our fans.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, it's more about our supporters, our fans. It's about balancing, reintroducing, or introducing new talent,
Okay.
New voices. So that was it. It's just it's strictly just the contract had ended, and then we made a different decision.
Okay.
Got you.
Ace Metaphors in the building with the Big Tigger Morning Show on V103. When we come back, probably the more explosive end of this conversation. Allegations have been thrown, shots have been fired, lawsuits have been filed. Ace Metaphor will join us and continue the conversation about tonight's conversation right here on the People Station V103. People Station V103, the ATL's #1 for hip-hop, R&B, and throwbacks. Big Tigger, Jazzy, Mcbee.
Yes, sir.
Ace Metaphor in the building. If you're just joining us, Ace Metaphor is here, the man behind tonight's conversation. Widely loved. People love this conversation. They love to go to the events. The clips are viral at all times. A breakup of sorts is seemingly happening right in front of everyone's eyes online. We talked about Trip and Randy and Kitty J. Rose, but Keita Rose is a different situation. She has made allegations of financial, mental, physical abuse by you. What would you like to pick one?
Infidelities, manipulation.
So listen,
I mean, it's a lot.
So listen, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's
Yes.
33, 35 odd days of me waking up finding out different things about me, apparently.
Right.
It's a lot of the things are so egregious and outrageous and personal in nature. But what I want to focus on first is the allegations of financial abuse. Keita Rose was paid on time, every time, according to the contracts that she negotiated. There is no missed payments. The only thing that she was able to, the only missed payment she's talking about online was an advance. She got an advance that she chose to pay back at the end of the show, at the tour, and then she did it again in the fall. We have never not paid Keita Rose. She has always been paid.
Okay.
And she said it on Tasha K, so I'll say it here. She said it on Tasha K yesterday. She was paid $14,500 per show.
Okay.
14.
So now let's stick in the financial lane. There's this, which I thought was crazy that y'all were recording each other, but the recordings of conversations centered around either $300,000 or $500,000, depending on which conversation you listen to, that you had apparently reached out to her or
That's false.
Okay.
That's false. And the litigation approved that. She sent information to a neutral party and asked that neutral party to reach out to me. Neutral party in text messages, which can be proven, asked, what do you want? To work it out or do you want money? She said, I don't know, we'll see. We got on a three-way call, and in that three-way call, she started asking for money in exchange to hold a story. At that point, we had still had guests that were still committed to the tour. It still hadn't got that bad, and I had halfway thought to submit to what I felt was the blackmail. Because at that point, it was like, this is doing so much damage to the business. It's not that I care about secrets about my past coming out, but it's the way you're narrating this story. At that point, you had went already 8 days. And so the conversations were 2 days in nature. And obviously, we both have 2 days of recording. If you take a snippet here, it'll sound like this. I take a snippet there, it'll sound like that. But this is why we're going to go to litigation about it. I feel strongly about it. I never initiated conversations with her. It is provably she initiated conversations with me, not just that day, but then 2 days later about the mentor situation. She reached back out to that neutral party again, trying to initiate conversations in order to try to get money out of me.
Wow.
And I stand behind that.
Now with her, it just seems like more personable than money. So let's clock this T. Was there something physical going on, or that you and Keita kind of had, or is it strictly about money? Like, what is the vendetta behind it? Because a lot of people saying that y'all allegedly had this relationship. What's the real reason behind it, other than money and contracts?
We have never had a sexual relationship.
Okay.
And then the real reason behind it isn't money that's owed, because no money is owed.
So what's she crashing out for? What do you think?
How did we get here?
She wanted to come back.
Okay.
She wanted to come back for 3 weeks. She started messaging me January 2nd. For 3 weeks, she was trying to get us to offer her a contract. We were saying that our contracts will go out, our negotiations will start after our current tour ended. Our current tour was going to end in St. Louis, January 19th. And I told her, and I had my manager reach out, and we will have that conversation with you after that. We even sent an email saying, hey, here, what are open dates so we can coordinate it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think that was satisfactory for her. She wasn't booked for our last 3 dates. So we still had shows to do. We were still in the middle of a tour.
Okay.
And so because of that, this is why, I don't know her state of mind. I can't tell you why she's doing this. I can tell you, though, up until she started what I would call her quote-unquote truth, because I don't want to say anything inflammatory here.
Right.
2 days before, she was trying to get a new contract from us. She gave us an ultimatum and said, I need to know by Wednesday at 5 p.m. what y'all gonna do. This is 5 days earlier than when we were agreeing to talk to her, because we still had Memphis and St. Louis to do.
Okay.
And when that deadline, in her opinion, wasn't met, because she started the barrage 6 hours before that deadline was even there. And if you look up the lawsuit, anybody that's watching can look up this lawsuit. You will see the messages, you will see the story in the trail that corroborates what I'm saying here. So I guess what I'm saying is there's no physical, sexual relationship between us. There isn't any money owed. She wanted to come back, even leading up to 2 days prior to all this stuff starting. So when you're asking me why she's doing this, I have no clue. That's a better question for her.
Now, she wanted to come back. Did you want her to come back even before all of this transpired?
I was open. But
Okay.
you know how it is. Once a season is over, you know what I'm saying, it is ultimately a business. It's ultimately a business that's large enough to pay her $14,500 a show. So when you go to the drawing board, you have to go back to the drawing board with all talent. It doesn't mean that I wasn't going to bring her back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It just means after the tour is over, there's conversations internally I have to have with the team. We have to talk about budget. It's things that needs to be. It's not as easy as saying, "Oh yeah, come back." We're not doing. It's a multi-million-dollar business now.
Okay.
Ace Metaphor is our guest right here on V103. All right, let's go to. She also alleged mental and physical abuse. What is she referring to?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no clue.
Well,
I've never physically abused Keita Rose. I never mentally abused Keita Rose.
I'm sorry.
She's alleging a lot of things now. It's 33 days of allegations.
I saw something. The only thing that I saw specific is that she said you made comments about her weight a lot.
That's false. It's unequivocally false. I have never, with any castmate, I've never made comments about their weight, their aesthetic on camera. I've never did any. You have to think, whenever we shoot, we're around a room of 12 people. I'm not isolated in any room with them by themselves. And then our text thread is clean, my call logs are clean, our email threads are clean. A lot of the things that are being alleged is all, he said this, and it must have been on the phone or something, or wherever it must have been, because it wasn't in the environment of business. And then my call logs show that we rarely had conversations outside the environment of business. I don't know how to respond to a lot of these allegations and give you the reason why these things are being said. But I can unequivocally say that I've never, ever, ever, ever commented on her weight. Ever. That has never happened.
Ooh.
Ever.
So, as people from the outside looking in, she's painting you, and used the word narcissist. She said that you've pitted cast members against each other. I saw an article that said something about everybody was gossiping about everybody and things of that nature. What, if anything, did you learn from all that is happening currently, and how might you move differently moving forward?
The gossiping, again, the text threads don't lie. The call logs don't lie. I mean, if the gossiping is the thing, the text threads ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? We grew fast, and at some point, I stopped being their direct contact because it had started to get, we couldn't. So there was an artist liaison placed. He became the direct contact for our artists, but that's just because it's natural business. You know what I'm saying? It's just a natural step in business. This is the person, any artist problems on tour, he's the point of contact, go to this person. Then we had my business manager, if there was any grievances, send it to this particular person. Pause. There has never been any allegations or grievances to those natures sent to any of those two people. Ever in 4 years. Ever. Ever. What I did learn towards that end was the importance of that. The importance of not allowing someone to send me a message and say, I don't want to work with Kitty J. Rose on this city. Even though they would send it to me, I would say, hey, I would direct them to the proper person, but the direct access and then allowing people to circumvent that access. For example, with Keita, on January 2nd or 3rd of this year, I directed her to Natasha, which is my business manager. I directed her to her in order to continue the conversations about the contract. She did not want to talk to her. She kept circumventing coming back to me. So what I've learned is it has to be almost, as much as I want to keep, it has to be a zero tolerance to that. These are the chains of commands, and I cannot allow people to circumvent that. Personally, though, I would say the biggest lesson I'm learning here this is a difficult conversation to have. The reason why is the level. There's weaponization of my childhood trauma that's being perverted into trying to it's trying to question my sexuality as an adult. There is handicap allegations about my sex life. There is so many things that's happening. So when you ask me what lessons am I learning from that particular situation, it's hard to, in that particular situation, say, oh, I could have done this differently to prevent this level. We're at 35 days now. 35 days and it's still a press tour. I sat there and I said, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let it die down. Cool. And it's still going.
You did 2 lives, though.
No. 2 lies and didn't mention her name, not once. And I'm gonna tell you this: she has a gag order, and still violating it.
You have a gag order on her.
Yes, and the gag order specifically states that it was given because there's a likelihood I will win a defamation suit. Let me tell you this: it's unfortunate because I don't like internet drama. I've never wanted to be in it. Any grievance that was had could have been handled in person via Zoom or doing the proper channels. If there was a money issue, which I assure you that there wasn't, but let's pretend it was a money issue. Let's just pretend that the $13,000 she was talking about that I advanced her, then I believe her point of contact, which she gave us the license to talk to and handle her affairs. Let's pretend that was a grievance. Guess what I would have did?
What?
Just gave her the $13,000.
Because it wasn't worth all of this.
Even if I had not seen all this coming, if it was a grievance where this wasn't supposed to be done, y'all did it. I feel like I need this money because y'all didn't follow the proper procedures.
Right.
I would have looked at the situation and said, just give it a $13,000. I would have done that. But instead, for the period, and the fans will know what I'm talking about, we have text messages of her sending to us saying, oh, money wasn't stolen. It was used for what he said it was going to use. Everything is good. And then we move on. So I guess I'm at the point I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to throw shots at any particular person. Even in podcasting, there still should be professionalism and decorum.
Right.
And unfortunately, in this situation, according to a lot of the screenshots that we have of her stories that's in our lawsuit, she is saying that she doesn't care about professionalism and that this is war. And it's a one-sided war because this is my first time talking about it. And even me talking about it, this is not me talking about her personally. I don't have to get into her personal story. I don't have to put things on Instagram to try to get people to dig up dirt on somebody's past.
Right.
What we're going to talk about is the actual things that matter, and that was her personal accusations against me, or business accusations about financial abuse, which never happened. And my bad, y'all done got me talking.
Come on.
It's just so amazing that most times when I'm watching her do interviews or talking about it, she is talking 2% about financial abuse and 98% about other things that's not even her personal problem.
Hey, Metaphors, our guest this morning on V103. I did forget to ask, you mentioned finances again. Is there anybody, cast-wise, or anybody that you or your company owe money who hasn't been paid properly?
No. I have self-financed this whole operation. I've never taken a loan. I've never had sponsorships. I never fundraised. Everything that tonight's conversation has grown to came out of my bank account. We probably sent over 60 to 70 W-9s this month. I owe nobody money. I pay all my invoices, every single one. I have never had an outstanding balance with any one of my vendors. It's amazing that nobody else is coming out and saying that they haven't been paid, and I tour with 50 people. I have 7 people in video production. I have 8 people in sound. I have 20 people in staff. I have 8 cast members. And it's funny, no one else is saying that I owe them money.
So I'm sorry, Jazzy. So what's at the heart of this, bro? Like, we're just trying to understand how something that's so, something that was so amazing and successful and palatable and desired by, the fans could dissolve so quickly. And again, the show is still here without question, and you're going back on or not. So I shouldn't say dissolve, but, I guess if they're the favorites, as we called them, like what is behind all of this? Is she just, in your opinion? Well, no, let me not put any words in anybody's mouth. How do we get here? What is the issue
With her?
Yes.
Your issue with her.
No. What's her issue with you and vice versa?
Yeah.
Like, how are we at this moment?
My issue with her is going to be handled in the courts the proper way.
Okay.
Outside of that, it's business. Sometimes you have to handle things the proper way. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to take it extra personal. Beside even the personal attacks that she's doing, this is somebody I shared the stage with for 4 years. You know what I mean? It's disheartening and sad to see, but I wouldn't begin to be able to tell you why.
Right.
And then telling you why will be offering an opinion. I don't want to offer opinion. Everything I just said to you and you are facts, provable facts that if you look up the lawsuit, you'll see.
Right.
You have somebody, and if you do the math, we did 40-something shows last year. Do the math on a per show rate. Just do the math.
Right. It's a lot of money.
That's going on the internet and telling people that she was financially abused, people that make $17, $18, $19 an hour. She worked 40 days of half work, 40 half days, which means you also have an extra 315 days to also make another income if you wanted to. This is what I want to stick to. Why she did this and what's her mind state, I wouldn't be able to begin to tell you. I don't know what mind state you got to be in, and I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm talking now, to go on the internet and tell people that my mom was on crack. What mind state do you have to be in to do that?
No.
What mind state do you have to be in order to tell people that as a minor, I had sex in exchange for gifts and being flown out? So when you're asking me, what is her mind state, how would I know?
Now, the things that she's saying, is this something that you share with her personally, or is this just something that she's kind of like making up?
The call logs and our text threads will show how infrequent that we communicated.
So y'all were not or never a family, because I know you guys toured 4 years. You were never a family. She was just somebody you picked to share a stage on tonight's conversation, or was you? You know what I'm saying? Because again, like your family. If you tour with somebody for 4 years, to me, I feel like we know each other in a different light. Like that's family. Like we rock with each other. And then to me, I'm seeing.
I can answer your question.
This may be why she's taking it personally.
I can answer your question.
Okay.
There is an affinity of people that you're around and you tour with. Granted, yes. But we're talking now, and maybe this is the radio. I don't know how we can talk, but I have never told her I like being thrown up on during sex. But that's in one of her videos. That has never been communicated with her.
What?
Exactly. Go watch her part series. We're not talking about this. This is, in her words, to her, war. The first day on January 15th, she said, "You want to go viral? Well, let's go viral. We're going to be the talk of the town." This is look at the lawsuit. And so what I'm saying is, there's an affinity. In our text thread, you will see that as a group of cast or staff, we go get brunch every now and again, or we'd go be featured at a club and we'll be there. I'll stay there for like 20 minutes and I'll leave.
Okay.
But to tell intimate, personal details to, absolutely not. Let me tell you something. The mentor situation that she's grossly exaggerating and at this point lying about, when these stories were coming out, I had to call my mom to tell her about stuff she never knew about. It's not in alignment of what the stories she's saying online, because the stories she's saying is grossly exaggerated and to a point where it's damn near a lie. My best friends didn't know. Other castmates didn't know. My best friends that work with us and at every show that's in the green room with us didn't know these things. What happened was there was and you will see in the lawsuit, there was a search for dirt. If you live in Dayton, Ohio, please inbox me. If you have stories of abuse with Ace Metaphor or Mojo Jojo, inbox me. You'll see those. And so what ended up happening was there was a search for dirt, and then you can't vet those people. Somebody send you a story, and then you run with it.
Oh, so you saying she requested whoever live in Ohio, if you got dirt on Ace,
she put that
DM
on
me.
her public Insta story.
Oh, Lord, okay.
And it's probably in that lawsuit if you look it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, this a lot.
A
It's
lot.
messy.
No, it's messy from one side.
Oh, gosh.
And by proxy, because she's talking about me, it seems like I'm participating in the mess. I'm not participating in the mess. But we've gotten to a point where after 35 days, after 2 weeks of an ignored gag order, after her gloating in one of her stories or one of her episodes, she actually posted the lawsuit on a green screen and say, "I guess I'm being sued now."
I saw that.
Yeah.
And
We
as
did
if
see
it's a
that.
joke. So the only reason I'm here talking to you all is the excessive nature of this.
Of it, yeah.
This is not the excessive nature, the disregard for the court system, and what undoubtedly appears to be a smear campaign. She is now doing a podcast tour smearing. And let me tell you this. Your thought is super important here. And your thought is too. Most people would figure that no one would just do it because. So what is happening must either be true or warranted, because most people wouldn't think that someone would just come out and say things.
Right. That part.
And that part is what I feel like is being played on. And so what we're gonna do is, I mean, we filed the suit for defamation.
Okay.
We got the gag order. We had a court date that was supposed to be this Wednesday, but conveniently she's out the country.
Wow.
And then, you know, we're just gonna go and do what we need to do. And let me tell you, sis, and I'm gonna say this just for the people that are watching. Yo, this part of the game. This is my first rodeo with this. It's ugly. I don't like it. Part of the game, though. It's this. What's happening, and so what I'm learning here is how to navigate in crisis, how to stay mentally at peace, because you watch the internet like I said, I don't blame fans and supporters. These are the same people that come to the shows. These are the same people that influence my content going viral. These are the same people that help me achieve my dreams. So I have no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you know what I mean? I don't blame them for nothing.
Right.
But one day you go from having a really great reputation. Like, for example, I have never, ever, ever, ever slept with a guest. Ever had sexual contact or even flirted to a nature that would be, you know what I'm saying, deemed as sexual or advances with any woman or man. Because I had to put that.
I was gonna look.
That was an allegation. That was an allegation. So let me put that in
And to
there.
ask that one too.
Nah, because that was an
Okay.
allegation.
Okay.
I have not done that. I have not with anybody.
Okay.
Anybody, right? And so I guess what I'm saying is, like, not to lose my train of thought, I sit here and now I'm answering questions, and now my reputation is staying, like, 7 years, 8 years of professionalism in the workplace when it comes to not fraternizing with castmates is now all in question.
Yeah.
And then now 7, 8 years of goodwill that I built with and trust that I built with my fans and my supporters are not all in question. So it hurt to one day wake up and see all, you know, not all the people, but the very few people that are vocal and loud and vocal.
Right.
You know, now I post something, now the whole comment section is harassment and trolling and and it's like, so that was one of the most difficult part to navigate through. So I'm learning how to navigate through this, and I hope that in my life I never have to do this again.
I know.
And the last thing people ask me, and it's in the lawsuit, you'll see it. People ask me, why didn't you have paperwork to prevent somebody from doing this? I did. I did.
Yeah.
And she's doing it anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So it's and I want to apologize for me being passionate about it. This is just my first time openly speaking. But I'm passionate because I'm gonna tell you this last part of the story. I was first made aware of the Insta stories that started this whole episode.
Oh yeah.
By a friend of mine, a mutual friend, sending the stories to me in my my text messages. And my first reaction was, WTF? And he like shaking my head. And the first thing I said is, she can't be talking about me. That don't make sense. And then he like, nah, she talking about you, bro. And I reread it, I'm like, nah, she can't be talking about me. And that's how this whole thing has felt for me. Like, imagine you can't even go to bed without fearing that you're gonna wake up to more of this.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, it wasn't just me. My mom has been drugged into it. My dad was drug into it. My brother was drug into it. My religion was drug into it. Everybody that's close to me that had some sense of support for me was drug into it. It's just terrible. Like having my mom call me, and again, my mom calls me and says, "Did you tell her I was on crack?"
What was your response?
No.
Oh.
And I guess my point I'm saying is there are real life consequences. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and I respect that organization. Even though I'm not a part of it right now, I respect that organization. I've had to talk to multiple people within that organization because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't out there disparaging their name.
Oh, wow.
Because she's repeating it as if I'm saying things.
Okay.
And it's potentially dangerous. What if the things that she's accusing me of saying that this mentor did, I never said? What if he took that a different way, though? And now potentially my life is in danger because somebody else is backed into a corner thinking that I said something. My point I'm saying is I've sat back and I've just watched, I observed, I let her tire herself out. I think she got to be done at this point. After the Tasha, I don't even know if y'all seen the Tasha K thing. That was just...
I did.
Again,
We both
I apologize to my publicist here because I'm just talking. Because at this point, I'm getting at this point. But in there's accusations of my sexuality. I am a heterosexual man that has never had sexual contact with the same sex ever in my life. And I support whatever anybody got to do. I don't have any, so I'm not saying this in a indicting way, but she's weaponizing it in a way that is to turn public opinion because she knows how rampant homophobia is. So now you want to weaponize, he's on a DL, that's probably why he's so angry at women. And it's like, it's gotten to a point where, and I'm gonna just end this, I guess this is the only opinion I'm gonna offer. She trying to paint me like all the toxic traits you can, like the Megatron it, like all the how to build the most toxic. I don't know when to cuss on y'all platform, but how to build the most toxic guy, and that's what's happening. So, my opinion on this is, I hope she gets the love and the support she needs in this moment. I wish the best for her, and I don't want to see her continue this, not because I want to spare myself, but because what signal does this send to anybody else in the future that may want to work with you? This is potentially ruinous. And then also, people will exploit people. You're going on people's platforms that don't care whether you are saying something that's going to damage your court case. They don't care. They want your clicks and your views, and they're going to let you say all those things because they're wise enough to know that there's certain things on this platform I can't say, but you said it. Knowing that you have a court case, knowing that you have an open gag order, and knowing that this is potentially, and it's in the documents, costing me millions of dollars that at some point somebody's going to answer to in court. My hope is that she gets the love and the support that she needs. My hope is that she moves forward because she is uber talented. She can build a brand. I shared the stage with her. There was nobody that worked the stage in the way in which she did. And I wish she leans into that. You do not need to step on people to get up and to boost your platform. You do not need to do that. And my hope is that that's what she continues to do, and she focuses on that. Because as somebody that employs people and casts people, this is something that's going to ward people away, especially when the truth comes out.
Now, I know we have to wrap. Now, one last question. Have you guys seen a decline in your fan base?
Yes.
Even the tours?
Yes. There are actual damages. There are actual people. If we have to move shows, push shows, cancel shows, there are people who support their lives off these tours. There are real life consequences for this. I might be good, maybe. Maybe I might be good. But what about the people that work check to check for me? What about the people who depend on this for their apartment or for this or for that?
Yeah.
What about those influencers that this is the biggest check they're gonna get this year? $14.5 thousand a show she got paid. 14.5. How many podcast panels can pay that? Not just one-offs. We talking about over the course of 12 or 14 cities, on a course of 20 to 30 cities. How many people where can a lot of these people go to replace that type of income?
Right.
There are real damages here. And let me tell you something. I don't just file lawsuits just to file them. I don't. And if it was just about me, maybe. But a lot of people are going to suffer because of this. And that's the truth about it.
So we'll get you out of here on this. Ace Metaphor has been our guest on V103 this morning. What is, in your opinion, what does the future of tonight's conversation look like? I know you're going back out on tour.
Oh, no, we gonna rock. We gonna rock. Hey, let me tell you this. We gonna rock. The future is to continue what we've always done.
Okay.
Which is to find new engaging voices. And then too, I mean, obviously we're a platform. We shoot our seasons. We shoot our seasons well in advance. By the time somebody sees something on social, it's been 6 months since we did that show.
Okay.
So even Keita, you'll see her on the app for another year or some change. And that's why I said professionalism and decorum is important. And then now that's why my hope is for her to see that, because she got a lot of life in front of her. She got a lot of opportunities in front of her. But imagine somebody investing $400,000 into you in a single year. And then before I'm able to recoup on the back end, this happens.
Right. Well, Ace, thank you for the first conversation about it. I hope this offers some clarity to everybody listening and watching. Again, tonight's conversation, coming back to a city near you soon. Please believe it. And we'll be back with more Big Tigger Morning Show with Jazzy Mcbee right after this on V103.